The money mistake that can hurt you most in your 30s is not always debt. It can be keeping $40,000 too much in cash because it feels responsible. Over 20 years, that one comforting decision can cost roughly $144,000 in missed growth, which is basically a future car, several years of rent, or the gap between having options and wondering why your savings never seem to move. And if you are in your 30s or 40s, this matters because the choices that look boring today are the ones quietly deciding how flexible your 50s feel. So this is not about being perfect with money. It's about finding the normal-looking defaults that can overcharge the next 3 decades of your life. Most people picture financial damage as something dramatic, a blown-up stock trade, a maxed-out credit card, a business idea that somehow involved a cousin in a folding table. But a lot of real damage looks mature. It says, I do not want a job hop. It says, I just want to feel safe. It says, everyone needs a car payment. And because it sounds responsible, nobody treats it like a threat. Take Marcus. He is 34, lives outside Dallas, earns $82,000, has no credit card debt, puts a little into his 401k, and keeps $70,000 in savings because the number makes him feel calm. From the outside, Marcus looks fine, but he has not tested his market value in 5 years. His SUV costs $760 a month before insurance, and his emergency fund has become a parking lot of money that should be working. Nothing explodes. The damage just compounds quietly. Start with the loyalty discount. Loyalty sounds stable. It sounds adult. It sounds like the kind of thing people praise right before telling you how they got a pension in 1987 by shaking a manager's hand. That world is mostly gone. In 2026, switching jobs is not automatically magic either. Bank of America data showed the median pay raise for job-to-job movers fell to about 6.7% in January 2026, down from an 8.6% average in 2025. The Atlanta Fed wage tracker showed overall wage growth around 3.5% in May 2026. Translation: you do not get paid more just because you changed your LinkedIn banner and survived 3 interviews. But staying quiet is still not a strategy. If you are underpaid by $5,000 a year, that's not just $5,000. It affects future raises, 401k contributions, mortgage approval, emergency savings, and how much room you have when groceries, insurance, and rent all decide they are luxury products now. Once a year, test your market value. Look at 5 real job listings, talk to recruiters, ask people in your field what ranges they are seeing. Track the skills in higher-paying roles. If you negotiate, do not walk in with, I work hard. Everyone says that. Walk in with outcomes, scope, market data, and the cost of replacing you. If the answer is still no, at least you have information. Information is cheaper than loyalty that never compounds back to you. The second wealth killer is your zip code. People treat location like it is only a housing decision. Rent is cheaper here, houses are cheaper there, taxes are lower over there. Fine, those things matter, but location is also an income decision. The same skill can be treated like a premium service in one city and a nice little hobby in another. A nurse, electrician, accountant, data analyst, sales manager, or finance employee can have a completely different income ceiling depending on where employers are hiring and whether the local economy actually rewards that skill. This is not a speech telling you to abandon your family and move into a $3,900 studio with a window facing another window. That is expensive sadness with subway access. The question is your city making your life efficient, or is it quietly capping what you can become? If you earn $80,000 in a place where you save $1,500 a month and have real community, great. But if you earn $58,000 in a market with no ladder, tiny raises, and employers that act like Casual Friday is a benefit, the cheap rent may be a discount on your future income. Do a zip code audit. Compare your current city, the nearest larger metro, and remote rules in your field. Then subtract housing, taxes, commuting, childcare, insurance, and support network costs. Chase the biggest leftover after your actual life is paid for. The third wealth killer is cash that stopped being protection and became a museum exhibit. Emergency savings are good, necessary even. In 2026, survey data showed only about 30% of people would use savings to cover a major unexpected expense, like a $1,000 emergency room bill or car repair. So yes, keep an emergency fund. But after a certain point, cash can stop being safety and start being fear with a bank login. If your household spends $4,000 a month, a 6-month emergency fund is $24,000. That is real protection. If you are self-employed, on commission, supporting family, dealing with health risk, or preparing for a layoff, maybe you need 9 or 12 months. That can be reasonable. But if you need $24,000 and keep $64,000 sitting there year after year because the bigger number feels soothing, that extra $40,000 is a choice. If it could have been invested for 20 years, the missed growth can be roughly $144,000, depending on returns. Opportunity cost sounds academic, so put it this way. It is the price of picking one version of your life over another. Build buckets. 1 month of bills and checking. 3 to 6 months in emergency savings for stable income, more if your income is volatile. A separate bucket for known expenses like insurance premiums, repairs, taxes, or a move. Anything you do not need for 5+ years needs a growth job, not a comfort job. If moving cash into investments all at once makes you freeze, invest a fixed amount every month for 6 or 12 months. The goal is not to become fearless. The goal is to stop letting fear write the entire plan. The fourth wealth killer is the car payment that steals your raise. Nobody says, I am reducing my future net worth with a transportation decision that flatters my identity. They say, I need something reliable. But in 2026, new vehicle prices were above $51,000 on average, and a typical payment could land around $750 a month before insurance, maintenance, registration, tires, and repairs. A more modest used vehicle payment around $530 is not automatically perfect, especially since used car pricing has been strange since 2020. So the real question is not new versus used, it is this. Did your car absorb the raise that was supposed to make you wealthier? If you get a $7,000 raise, after taxes, maybe that's around $400 a month. Then you upgrade into a payment that is $300 higher, insurance that is $80 higher, and gas that is $40 higher. Congratulations, the raise is now parked outside. Before upgrading, calculate the all-in cost. Payment, insurance, fuel, maintenance, registration, repairs, and tires. Then price one real, cheaper substitute with the same safety needs, a lower trim, and a lower insurance quote. If the nicer car is still worth it, fine, but make the trade consciously. The fifth wealth killer is the relationship decision nobody puts into a spreadsheet. The point is not that love is bad. The point is that building a household links your money in ways that are much bigger than dinner dates and shared streaming passwords. Debt becomes a household stressor. Credit affects housing. Spending habits affect savings. Career decisions affect childcare. Family expectations affect boundaries. If one person thinks safety means no debt ever, and the other thinks it means we can afford the payment, you are running two operating systems in the same house. The expensive version can be divorce with legal fees, refinancing, moving costs, changing insurance, replacing furniture, and splitting accounts. But there is also the quieter version, staying together while never aligning. One partner saves, the other spends. One tracks goals, the other avoids statements. Have the money meeting before the decisions get expensive. What debt do you have? What credit score range are we working with? How much saves automatically? Are accounts joint, separate, or hybrid? Are we supporting relatives? What happens if one income disappears? Awkward? Yes. Less awkward than discovering hidden debt while applying for a mortgage? Also yes. The sixth wealth killer is the status tax. This one looks least like a spreadsheet and most like a personality. The nicer apartment because it feels more like you. The watch because you work hard. The trip because everyone else is going. The phone upgrade because the old one works perfectly, but apparently shame now comes with a charging cable. The status tax is using purchases to reassure yourself that you are not falling behind. Social media makes it worse because you never see the balance sheet. A leased car and a paid-off car look the same in a parking lot. An apartment taking 55% of take-home pay photographs exactly like one taking 22%. A vacation paid with savings and a vacation paid with a 24% APR credit card both have the same ocean. The fix is visibility. Create a line item for appearance spending, flex spending, whatever name does not make you feel attacked. Put clothes, restaurants, upgrades, gadgets, and social pressure purchases there. Then cap it. Use cheaper substitutes where they work. Generic medication when the active ingredient is the same. Store brand staples. Dinner at home before drinks out. Renting a tool used once a year. The point is not deprivation, it is refusing to let imaginary opinions invoice your future. The seventh wealth killer is ignoring upside because cash is easier to understand. A job offers slightly lower salary but better 401k match, stronger health benefits, paid certifications, tuition support, stock purchase plans, or a real promotion path. Another offers more cash today, but no ladder, no match, no training, and a manager who says we are like a family, which usually means the family is underpaid. People pick the bigger salary because the bigger number is simple, but compensation is salary plus benefits plus time plus risk plus upside plus what the job lets you become next. If you get equity, do not treat it like magic money. Most startup equity becomes nothing. That is not cynicism, that is math with a hoodie. But do calculate it. What percentage do you own? When does it vest? What happens if you leave? What taxes could apply? What realistic outcome makes it valuable? For most people, the overlooked upside is boring benefits. A 401k match is pay, and HSA contribution is pay. Paid licensing that moves you into a higher salary band is pay. Predictable hours that let you finish a degree or build a side business can be pay. Before taking a job, build a total compensation sheet. Salary, bonus, match, health costs, commute, PTO, training, equity, promotion odds, and time flexibility. Sometimes the job paying $4,000 more is worse. Run the numbers. The eighth wealth killer is waiting for the perfect entry. This usually comes from smart people, which is why it is dangerous. They know the Fed matters, inflation matters, valuations matter, and the market can drop, so they wait. They wait for a pullback, then the pullback feels too scary. They wait for confirmation, then the market recovers and feels too expensive. They wait for clarity, then the next headline shows up. The perfect entry has been rescheduled again. The issue is not that risk is fake, risk is real. If you need money next year for a house, tuition, taxes, or a known expense, that money should not be swinging around in the stock market. But long-term money has a different job. It needs time. Keeping long-term money in cash because the world feels uncertain is still a market call. You may call it caution, but functionally you are betting that your fear knows when to get back in. The practical fix is boring, which is usually a good sign. Automate contributions. Use diversified, low-cost funds if they fit your plan. Dollar cost average if a lump sum makes you freeze. Keep short-term money separate, so a market dip does not feel like rent is in danger. So what do you do now? Do not fix 8 things at once. That is how people create a beautiful spreadsheet, stare at it for 12 minutes, and then order delivery. Pick one category this week. If it is income, compare 5 real roles. If it is location, compare your city with 2 alternatives after taxes and real-life costs. If it is cash, set checking, emergency, known expense, and long-term buckets. If it is the car, compare all-in cost to monthly investing. If it is your relationship, schedule the money meeting. If it is status spending, cap the bucket. If it is compensation, compare the full package. If it is investing, automate the first repeatable step. The goal is not to treat every decision like a financial emergency. That is exhausting, and it makes money feel like punishment. The goal is to notice which normal decisions are becoming permanent. Loyalty can be good, staying in a city can be good, cash can be good, a nice car can be good, a relationship can be good, looking good can be fun, cash salary can be smart, waiting can be wise. But any good thing becomes expensive when it stops being a choice and turns into a default you never question. That is the real wealth killer, not one bad month, the unexamined normal month repeated 240 times. And if you catch it early enough, you do not need a financial miracle. You just need to stop letting reasonable decisions quietly overcharge the rest of your life.